At this time, we'll take comments from the public. All I ask is that whatever you're speaking about has to do with the village business, and that we try to keep it to 5 minutes. So who would like to come up and speak?
Great, I'll start.
Hold on 1 second, please.
Does anyone have a public comment card that they'd like to submit that they've pre-filled out?
Has anybody filled out one of these first? If not,
Then we
I
will
don't
just.
have any over here.
Great. May I start? I'd like to speak about item 2D in the consent agenda. I'm here speaking as a resident of Norridge of 8 years, a mother, a daughter-in-law, and granddaughter-in-law of 2 longtime households of Norridge, a scientist of 18 years, of which approximately 10 has been done cleaning up environmental releases, and 7 of those years specifically cleaning up leaking gas station sites. I'm also a licensed professional geologist for the state of Illinois. My family chose to purchase our current home based on the distance from gas stations and dry cleaners in this neighborhood. There are currently 13 gas stations within 2 miles of the subject property. 4 of those are within a 1-mile radius of the proposed site. There is no reason to add an additional gas station to this area. There are 2 prime locations located at Cumberland and Irving, one which is a former gas station facility that would be more suitable for the service station. Gas stations create a liability to the environment. They all leak. As somebody that's cleaned up these sites, they all leak. Fuel can be spilled from dispensers while pumping gas, a malfunction from the dispenser equipment itself, from fuel trucks delivering fuel to the site, and from the underground storage tanks and equipment themselves. Spills to the surface can reach storm and sanitary sewers, affecting our municipalities and waterways. They also travel through these systems and release vapors into homes and businesses. Underground spills can contribute to soil and groundwater contamination in our neighborhood. Contamination is mobile and doesn't understand site boundaries. It doesn't just stay on the gas station property. Vapors from the contamination can collect and seep into offices and residential basements, crawl spaces, and first floors if you don't have a subsurface to your home. The vapors can travel along preferential pathways, which include utility corridors, and can migrate into homes and businesses via these routes as well. It doesn't have to be part of the groundwater plume. This contamination is a known cancer-causing contamination. Additionally, a buildup of vapors can also create explosions. This happened recently in Illinois, as of 2 years ago. There was a buildup of vapors in an apartment building in the laundry room, and a spark ignited an explosion. That building had to be evacuated. Gas stations lower property values for residents near the site. If there is an ongoing environmental cleanup, residents must disclose that contamination has migrated to their property, and they may not be able to sell their home while cleanup is ongoing. These cleanups can take more than 20 years to complete. It's not uncommon I have sites that have been taking 40 years to clean up. Can all of you say that in 40 years you'll still want to be at your same home or not be able to sell your home? The disclosed sale price of the property is $1 million. I can tell you, a release of fuel from the site has the potential to exceed $1 million for cleanup. There is no benefit to nearby residents with the sale of this property for this purchase or for this purpose. For the gas station site itself, if the property is contaminated, this limits future use of the site, even if the gas station is removed and the contamination is cleaned up. An environmental restrictive covenant runs with the land and limits future use of the site. The site's abandoned now. If there's a gas station that doesn't succeed, it's going to remain vacant for the foreseeable future. The zoning department has not done their environmental due diligence. This is neglectful. And while you may be able to claim ignorance on your when they recommended it to the trustees of the board, they can still be held liable in the event of an environmental release. Ignorance is not excusable for environmental impacts. Norridge doesn't need another gas station. The village should develop the site into something that will benefit its residents, such as a park, community garden, or independent restaurant. Additionally, there is a project in the city of Chicago where they are doing a ground-mounted solar initiative where it utilizes vacant space to place solar panels. This energy can be stored as power to the city and reduce energy costs to nearby residents. There are many other alternative options that should have been requested from residents nearby as a way to use this property. Thank you. I'm sorry?
Name and address, please.
Yeah, I can leave it. Or do you want me to present it right now?
No, just give it to us, please.
Oh, okay. It's Renee, Renee. Last name is Wazak, W-A-W. C is in cat, Z is in zebra, A-K. And I'm at 4217 North Ozark Avenue. The same, just about a quarter mile from where you proposed to put this gas station.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next.
So, can you state your name first?
Yeah, and Shamira. I sent an email to all of you earlier asking to postpone this meeting and this decision. I did not receive a response. I received a call from you and we discussed your opinions on this matter. But I did talk to Joanna and I submitted a letter for you all to review prior to this meeting. I'm not sure if you all read it. If you can acknowledge if you did, that'd be great.
Right here.
Okay, so did you guys all read it?
Yes.
All right. In that letter, I said, so we only had 2 weeks to mobilize, which I don't think is a reasonable time because there's people that have 9 to 5s, there's people with families, and that's not a sufficient amount of time. Secondly, we were given the opportunity to voice our concerns way too late in the decision process. There's been a lack of transparency, and I wanted to just read this point that I included in the letter is, with this limited time that I had to canvass, and I had help from my nearby resident, my neighbors, we have approximately 106 of your constituents from the block of 400 of Ozark, Overhill, and Ottawa oppose the B3 zoning, and on this proposed 700 to 750 Irving Park Road, and I've included the petitions, and that's in that small time frame that we had to mobilize and to have some free time to get these signatures and to raise awareness. So this is very disappointing. And the second thing I want to say is I didn't even know this was happening. So it's been the lack of transparency in this meeting for people that don't attend these meetings and that live in the neighborhood. And this is going to affect their daily lives. It's going to affect the children. It's going to affect the future residents of here. And for us not to be, I don't even know what the vote was, to be honest. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Next. Hey, Sam.
Hi. Good evening. I'm Sam Amaranti. I'm an attorney, and I represent the owners of Edelweiss Restaurant. I represent them. I'm also very good friends with them. And I just have to state that I don't know the lady, Ms. Wazek, who came up here, but we would agree with her wholeheartedly and a lot more. We just don't want the village to move too quickly on this. Further studies need to be done. Edelweiss has been there for over 50 years. And it's been a tremendous business in this community. People in Norridge love it. People from all over come to it. If that gas station is allowed to be built, and I'm addressing the subparagraph D on their consent agenda. If that gas station is allowed to be built without further study, how a gas station does affect the environment and children, in a restaurant right across the street from it, those things have to be addressed. Those issues have to be addressed by this board. I have a lot of respect for this board. I've been with this town, a former prosecutor for the town, a former hearing officer for the town. I have tremendous respect for each one of you out there. And I know you won't act too quickly and with haste. You will act prudently, and you will act in the best interest of the residents of this town. You can see by the turnout today and by the concerns, especially the environmental concerns here, and the effect on the residents and the businesses. We just ask you to please act prudently, and we're concerned for all of our issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
My name is Yanina Chmura. I want to just say, because I have experience to live next to the gas station in other location, Norridge, and we moved to this area more quiet. I just want to tell you, living next to the gas station, you feel like you live in a factory. Smell, noise, it costs me so much stress and so much depression. I just want to tell you, living next to the gas station, it's like living in a factory. I see in this place, it's a beautiful place, lots of green area. It's this area is flooded, so we want to keep this area green, and I see this a future park for the kids, for the dogs. A lot of people have dogs, and they look at a place to work with the dogs. So, thank you.